big city for the simple country life.
Hey y'all, my name's Kyle. I'm Brittany's brother with Trailer Trashin, and today we're doing a little bit of turkey trashing. Now I need to first off shout out BBQ Boys. This is their recipe and I've been doing it now for about 6 or 7 years, and it is by far the best brine turkey that our family has ever had. It's become a little bit of a family tradition and it's just something that we love. All right, so we're gonna go through the ingredients real quick. We got 22, 23 pound turkey. We got sage, rosemary, and thyme, 4 oranges and ginger root and garlic. We have some red pepper flakes. This is the cider vinegar, 2 cups of brown sugar, 2 cups of salt, and 2 gallons of apple cider. And it will call for 1 gallon of water, which we'll go back and refill this. Now the recipe that we're doing here is all doubled since we're doing 2 birds. So if you're gonna do 1 bird, just go ahead and cut it in half. Everything that you see, cut it in half. We were trying to think of something creative to call this segment here, this little Thanksgiving Day special or whatever, but that's pretty generic. So we're going with the trailer trashing theme and calling it turkey trashing today. That's right. Alrighty, so next we're gonna do 2 cups of brown sugar and 2 cups of salt in here. Want to bring it to a boil and get all that stuff nice and dissolved in there. The salt is what makes this brine. It's not a brine if it doesn't have any salt. Okay, so next thing is to bring it to a boil and get it nice and dissolved. So here we go. Just gonna cut it off. All right, while that's going, we're gonna go ahead and dice this stuff up here. Now it says to quarter these, the BBQ Boys do, but I like to cut them up a little bit finer and also juice them into there. That's my own little twist, I guess, that I do. Not quite like quarters or anything, but I like to squeeze them in there like a lime and beer, get that flavor. Instead of slicing them up, I just smash them. This garlic here, instead of slicing up the garlic, I just smash them. Maybe that's lazy, but there's a lot of cloves here and little time saver. A lot of cloves. All right, may seem a little bit like cannibalism here, but we'll be slicing up this ginger here, go in the brine. All right, well, we're not quite there yet, so got to get a little bit more time here. We're not quite boiling. While we're waiting for that to come to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and add the thyme, rosemary, and sage to the cavities of these birds here. This is my favorite part personally. I think it changes the game of the bird, in my opinion. All that nasty juice. It's good stuff. Taking out the gizzard, its neck, all them giblets. We ain't gonna be needing this though, so you can go ahead and pitch that. All right, so we let this bird thaw already. Might be kind of gross, but I'm gonna set this over here on the side for a minute. Should have got a bigger tray. The neck and gizzard, all these innards, all that, that'll go in the brine too. My mom wants to make some gravy with them here in a little while, so. All right, go ahead and pull that. Now we're just gonna divide it up and stuff these cavities. Now I don't really know if this does anything, but I like to kind of crunch them up a little bit, kind of get them activated, if you will, and shove them up in there. All right, my hands are a little slick. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Now for the sage. It smells so good. So good. Now lastly, the thyme. Same kind of deal. Maybe y'all might think it's a little overpowering or whatever, but I really like these three herbs and I like crunching them up and getting the most out of them before shoving them up in there. All right, so those birds are ready. So let's check on this here and see if it's boiling. Not quite yet. Now I bet it is all dissolved in there, but we're just gonna go all the way to a boil, might as well. It seems hot though. It's steaming, getting hot. Almost there. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and throw these birds in there. Shout out Yeti for making the best damn cooler there ever was. So we're gonna put them in there like that. It doesn't really matter whichever way you put them in there, but you just wanna make sure that they're fully submerged in there with your liquid. If you don't, you could probably just add a little bit of water if you don't have enough liquid in there, but fully submerged is the idea. Get all them flavors going. All right, yeah, let's go wash my hands. Alrighty, so it's boiling and we're gonna go ahead and let it cool down now. So I'm gonna add this in there before we put our liquid concoction. Like I said earlier, I like to grab a few of these and juice them in there before I drop them in there. Just mo flavor, mo better. Gonna have sticky hands. Real sticky. And now the garlic and ginger. That's gonna be real good. Also, regular recipe calls for, man, my hands might be too slippery. There we go. Regular recipe calls for a 1/3 cup of this cider vinegar. We're putting 2/3, like I said earlier. We're doing 2 birds, doubled everything. And some red pepper flakes. I got a twin brother, and him and I talk about how with food, if there ain't any amount of spice, we don't want it. We don't want it. And so we had them red pepper flakes for a little bit of spice. Probably won't give much, but be all right. All right, I'm gonna give it one good last stir. And then we're gonna go ahead and add it in there with all of our other delicious goodness. We got our bag of ice ready. We're gonna get this cooled down real quick over these birds. Now the idea, I kind of touched on this earlier, but it says 18 to 36 hours on a brine, and really the longer you can go, the better. The more flavors are getting soaked up by these birds. And oh yeah, there we go. It's better to just do them as long as you can, for as long as you can keep them cold. You know, we got 3 bags of ice, and we're gonna watch this over the next couple of days and keep it cool, adding a little bit whenever we can or whenever we need. Uh-oh. All right. Now we should be good to go. You can give it a little stir around. Make sure everything's getting mixed up in there, and alrighty, so we're gonna get cleaned up around here, and we'll catch back up with y'all while we're cooking these birds. It's gonna be brining for about 2 days, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be one of the best, juiciest birds. If you try it out, you won't regret it. All right, so we just pulled it out of the brine. Next step, dry it off, and we're gonna rub a little bit of oil on the outside, and then it'll be good to go. You make sure to pull the sprigs, all the herbs out of the cavity, and when you put it on the grill, we're gonna rest it up on a rack and fill a little bit of that brine in the bottom, as well as one of those Red's Apple ales. Throughout the cooking, you want to put one on every 30 minutes to an hour, one of those Red's Apple ales, and constantly baste the turkey. You want to draw from that tray and squirt it all over about the same amount of time as you're putting another beer on. All right, guys, so check it out. Let's see some progress here. We're about an hour and a half in with breast down initially. You want to get all those juices boiling up and hitting that breast right off the bat. Here in about 30 minutes, we're going to go ahead and flip it, and then it'll be about 2 to 2.5 hours on that bottom side. Just doing a little basting over here, you know, with that Red's Apple Ale. Make sure to get some in that cavity. That's where it's good. Talk to him today.
Yeah. Right before I started setting up the
Plenty.
Oh, really?
It is looking good.
It's the best time.
How much time left?
Hard to say.
We're about to take this off and carve it.
You are. All right, so after nearly 4 hours, we're up there and we're looking good. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it off. You can see that it's got like that reddish black glaze kind of going on the top here. That is perfect. We got our meat thermometer that is right on temp. And so the idea here is to pull off, and then you always have to let a good chunk of meat like this rest before you dig in. So here we go. There we go. And so we'll cover it up with foil here, and then we'll let it rest for nearly 30 minutes. And it'll be plenty warm by then, but also it'll be nice and cooled off. It'll be like perfect eating temp. But even then, after you cover it, you're still getting internal cooking. There's all kinds of things going on still in there. And it is absolutely stellar, absolutely perfect right now. Oh. That's one good way to check if you're cooked, is if you can just break that leg. And we're getting perfect, juicy breakage there. That's a good bird.